What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I really feel like this camera is giving old OG YouTube vibes, right? When we had the old phones, we would film a video. I'm saying we like I was making videos, but the people that I was watching, we make videos off of laptops and all, right? I feel everything, even from the background, I feel like it's so nostalgic. But you know what? That's cool. So anyway, welcome back to my channel, guys. If you are new here, my name is Aaliyah, Leah, Shanice. I got people who call me all of it. Okay, so I am doing a story time or I'm just telling my diagnosis story rather, on how I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So yeah, I'm gonna start from when I was pregnant, right? So I was pregnant in 2020, year of the pandemic. And I'm bringing this up because I did have gestational diabetes during my pregnancy. And I think that, I'm not sure, you guys, if it makes you more susceptible to get, have dealt with diabetes later on down the line. But I will say this, I believe that I always had like insulin resistance and things like that. I could tell from a young age, but mind you, I didn't know what that stuff was. And again, when I would go to the doctor, they would never bring any of this up. We never discussed my A1C3, nothing like that. So I've always dealt with weight issues though. I was really, really small for most of my life growing up and everything. But I think by the time I got to high school, that's when I started gaining my weight for real. And I was actually trying to gain weight at one point, or didn't mind anyway because I was so small, but whatever. So I'm telling y'all that as in I was small most of my life, okay? So I didn't really started putting on any weight until high school. And so I ballooned. My mom told me it would get out of control, and it did. But I also was into fitness. So it kind of helped. So I was eating crazy and all that, but I would work out. So fast forward, I had gestational diabetes during my pregnancy. I dealt with a lot of fluid on me, a lot of swelling. I was on metformin, 500 milligrams, and then they put me on metformin 1,000 milligram, right? They upped that right before I had the baby because they were telling me, like, I don't know, we might have to get you on insulin before I had the baby. So they were really watching and was like, well, we're going to induce you at this point in time and all that. We don't want the baby to get too big. They were closely monitoring. I had a few instances during my pregnancy. I know one specifically where I was feeling so sick. I really wasn't sure what the deal was. I was feeling so sick. I ended up going to the hospital, and I think my blood sugar was like 40 or something like that, because I know I was throwing up on the way to the hospital. I drove myself and I was literally throwing up. When I got there, they checked it, gave me orange juice, checked on the baby. I had so much fluid. We would always, at a regular appointment where we would check on the baby, I would always have to go to the hospital so they can make sure everything was good as well. So it was a lot during my pregnancy. Mind you, I'm pregnant. It's hard not to eat donuts, cookies, cakes, wings, pizza, burgers, fries, whatever it is that you want to eat because you're pregnant, you're craving a lot. So I would kind of sneak some stuff, I'm not going to lie, but that's not good. I don't promote it. I'm just telling you what I did. So I had the baby, everything was fine. They checked for him for diabetes when he came out, he was fine. They checked me after my appointments, I was fine. We were good to go. But fast forward, I noticed like throughout the last few years, mind you, my son just turned 4 in September of 2024, and I hadn't had really any issues since. So May of this year, May of 2024, I noticed that I was feeling a little bit, I really noticed May of last year, May of 2023, I noticed that my weight had hit my pregnancy weight, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I remember going to the doctor because in my head I'm just like, I need some help with losing weight. I have always, like I said, once I had started gaining that weight in high school, I was able to lose it, but after a while, like, I had started having trouble. I would lose about 25 pounds, keep that off, and then I would gain it back. So I realized I just started having issues with losing weight. So I was just like, what is this? So when I went to the doctor May of last year, I told her, and she was just like, oh, it's okay, download my fitness pal, like just all these basic, drink more water, basic bull. And I only say that because, yes, the tips were good, but at the same time, I don't believe we did the thorough test or anything that needed to be done because this ended up happening. So we did the test and everything. And I don't know if they tested for my A1C3. I don't know what they did last year, but they just sent me home with nothing, and so I went along. So May of this year, I noticed, I was like, I noticed a lot of swelling. Like my hands would be were swollen, my feet, and mind you, I kind of have learned my body, so I know like if I done had too much salt or, you know, bread, or if I just done ate some foods that, you know, had me a little bit inflamed and stuff like that, then I was like, okay. But this was a little bit weird. Then I noticed the bottom of my foot, my toes, like the little crevices of my toes were itching really bad. I was outside one day, I remember, probably working out actually. And I'm just like, I'm scratching the bottom of my feet, my toes. I'm like, what is this? Like, they seem kind of swelling, like swollen, and they're itching. So I got on TikTok, of course, and I started saying like toes swelling, itchy toes, all that. And I kept seeing stuff on diabetes. But I also seen some stuff about blood pressure. So I was like, okay, whatever. So so I started looking up stuff to do. Like, what can I eat? What can I whatever for blood pressure? Before I was ever diagnosed, before I went to a doctor, anything, I just was doing my own research and going from there. So I went to the grocery store. I remember filming this. Went to the grocery store. I think I put on my Facebook reels. Bought some fruits and veggies that I heard it's good, has a lot of water content that can flush you out and all that. I had been walking the trail. Mind you, y'all, I'm on a weight loss journey. I was trying to lose weight. So I was like, okay, so whatever. I noticed that, and I told myself, I'm like, I don't think this is working. Like, I'm just feeling like my shoes are tight on my feet, like all type of stuff. So I said, well, I'm going to try to put myself on bed rest because I would tell my family and friends, they're like, well, just calm down because we see you trying to work out. We know you're trying to lose weight, but just, calm down. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to put myself on bed rest for the weekend. But I noticed, I'm like, I am still not feeling good at all. And I didn't have any insurance at the time. Sorry, the sun is out, but it's going down here and there. And there's a shade tree right there. So just bear with me. So anyway, so I was like, okay. So I went to this clinic who they supposedly accept you if you don't have any insurance, and they just kind of bill you later or set up a payment plan. So this is what I did. That is important for me to tell you guys about the whole what took me so long to get to the doctor and why I couldn't really get the assistance and the help that I needed based off of the fact I did not have insurance, right? So I went to the little clinic, and I told her about the swelling and everything. Are you allergic? Mind you, when I'm doing that little mocky voice the way I am, y'all, I'm mocking them because they be saying some of the most outrageous-ish. It will piss you off, especially as a black woman. Like, these people, and I don't know if it's just because I'm in the South or whatever, but the way these doctors will literally see you, like, on your deathbed and not say nothing, it is crazy. So you need to take care of your own health because they do not really care. I'm not going to say everybody, but some of these doctors, these clinics, these whatever, you are not able to get the health care that you need, especially as a black person, because they usually don't give a they actually think that black people don't take care of their bodies enough. And I can attest to the fact that sometimes I don't, and that's not good. And we all need to do better. But I'm telling this story that hopefully this can help you. So she said, okay, well, we're going to run some tests. We're going to draw some blood. We're going to do some little things. I said, okay, cool. So she ended up, I went to the clinic after that. Like I said, I ended up just putting myself on bed rest. So I get the results back in. They call me. I remember I was going walking, y'all. They call me as I'm sitting in the car, and they tell me, hey, your test results come back, and it's looking like you are diabetic. Or pre-diabetic or whatever they told me. So we're going to need you to come in. And I'm just like, when they called me, I'm like, huh? I was like, that's not making really any sense. So we ended up going back into the clinic, and she tells me, like, yeah, your A1C3 was blasé. I don't even remember what it was, but it was high, and it was like, we like it to be X, Y, and Z. What we're going to do is we're going to put you on metformin. Now, mind you, I was on metformin during my pregnancy when I had gestational diabetes. So in my mind, something told me this was not going to work, and I was correct. I knew, like, mind you, all of these signs are me listening to my body. Matter of fact, I've left off the part, but before I went to the clinic, I had went to Walmart, where you can do your blood pressure, and it was like very high. It told me like, this is, your blood pressure is extremely high. So that's why I thought it was my blood pressure to begin with. So that's why I ended up at the doctor's office or the clinic. So she told me, okay, we're going to put you on metformin, whatever. I told her then and there in front of her face, I don't know if this is going to work. She's like, well, we got to try this. Mind you, I don't have no insurance. So I really didn't have nothing to really cover this at this time. So when she told me that, I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I told my mom. My mom's a pharmacy tech. She worked in the pharmacy. And I was upset. I remember just crying right there in Walmart. Like, they prescribed me metformin. I don't think it's going to work. Like, I'm not feeling good. And I'm pretty sure at the time my mom was just like, well, she's always concerned about health. But she probably thought I was being dramatic. I'm sure everybody did. But I just knew something wasn't right. So from here, y'all, it went downhill, okay? Now, I had a glucose meter, like where you prick your finger to check your blood sugar. I had that already from my pregnancy, so I start using that, checking my blood sugar, logging my blood sugar, and doing the metformin, and really trying to, this is where I was like, I'm cutting back, which I already was. Y'all, I started getting sicker and sicker by the day. Feet still swelling. I'm getting acid reflux. I'm having all type of stuff go on, y'all. It got to the point where I could barely breathe. I could barely walk to the door. I'm not knowing what this is. I'm hanging out with my best friend. We're trying to go to the track. One day, me, her, and her niece went to the track. Y'all, I kept having to stop because I couldn't breathe. Like I said, I don't know if best friend, if you watching this, I don't know. She might not have believed me at the time, or it might have seemed dramatic, but I was serious. I couldn't breathe. So long story short, I ended up going to the hospital one day because I checked my blood sugar and it was like in the 400s or something. It was like really high. Checked it. I think I went to the ER. Mind you, they're sending me home, saying there's nothing they can do. Finally, mind you, I left out the part where I'm waiting on insurance. At this time, I know that I'm getting sick and I need to be seen by my primary care physician, all that. They won't even let me get in there because my insurance was not cleared. So I'm applying for Medicaid. I'm just like, I need it. Like, I'm broke. I don't got nothing. I need to get into this doctor. So I'm going to the Medicaid place, sick, not feeling good. I'm calling them. I'm calling the doctor. What can we do? Payment plan. They're like, well, we need something. We need some type of money. I don't have no money to give y'all. I didn't have no money to give them. So finally, y'all, by the time that my Medicaid, my insurance came through, I was on the phone, barely breathing. By the time it came through, I'm on the phone like, did the insurance come through? And they just like, it did. I said, when can I get in? It was like, you can come in today. I said, all right, cool. I go in there. I'm in the shower, probably breathing so heavy that my sister and my niece were like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I'm getting dressed. I end up going. Y'all, they got me in there. All I remember is them coming back in there saying, ma'am, we're going to have the ambulance come and get you. I'm just like, huh? We're going to have the ambulance come and get you. I'm like, all right, boom. So it's a big thing, y'all. Like, we at the doctor's office. They done wheeled the little stretcher in there to get me in there to get in the ambulance to go to the local hospital. I'm like, oh my God. I get in the ER of my local hospital. They tell me we're going to have to cart you off to another hospital. Y'all just don't know. Like, I went into the doctor to end up going from this hospital because they said they didn't have the stuff to treat me to them saying, we getting you to another hospital. So they got me to the next hospital. They're really good with diabetes because my granddad goes there a lot. So I knew that. So I'm like, okay, they took good care of me there. I ended up in the ICU for a week. Well, for 5 days. For 5 days, I ended up in the ICU. Y'all, you could have never told me this was coming. I had no idea. So I went into something called diabetic ketoacidosis, right? DKA. I knew my niece. Again, RRP. Shout out to my niece, Lillian. She was so sweet, so smart, so funny, so sassy, but so spoiled. But shout out to her. Like, I'm giving her a shout out. But yes, RIP to her, y'all. Because she dealt with this. She had a insulin pump. It was several times dealing with I'm gonna get emotional. Oh my gosh. But several times dealing with back and forth in the back and forth in the hospital and stuff, dealing with her diabetes, and she had it since a toddler, and it was a lot. It was a lot seeing her have seizures. It was a lot seeing her getting frustrated with it, and I didn't realize, I knew how deep it was because y'all, she would end up, in the ICU and stuff like that too. She would just get airlifted and things like that, and it was just something scary for us to have to deal with. So, yeah, I just, it really, it was a huge thing. And so for me to be dealing with this, she passed in 2021, y'all, but for me to be dealing with this after, some days I feel so bad when I don't feel like taking care of myself and all that. Y'all, bear with me. I'm trying to get the, I ain't got time. But some days when I don't feel like taking care of myself and eating the way I'm supposed to and all that, I start to feel bad because I'm like, you know what, I'm here. And she left this world at 16 for something she was dealing with since a toddler. And we didn't know at the time when she would just get frustrated, like this and that. Lillian, take your medicine. Lillian, wake up, check your sugar. Lillian, whatever. And now that I'm going through it, it's like, man, I know how she felt. And then we dealt with the same thing with my granddad. Just, finding him passed out, y'all, or him going to the store, getting stuck while driving, like just dealing with so much with his diabetes. So I seen it be serious, very close on with family members, but I just didn't know that, it would be me. And when I say family, by the way, these are my family by marriage, but we grew up together, my granddad, my little cousin, so this is my family. But I'm only prefacing that saying that I don't know anyone else that dealt directly with diabetes besides my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. But I don't know anybody else that dealt directly with it. But yeah, I ended up in the ICU for that week, and it was just really, really rough. Like, they were coming in, oh my gosh, what is it, every 4 hours, drawing blood. Y'all, my arm had bruises because they were drawing blood. They had IVs. I was getting potassium, magnesium, this, and I was in there by myself the first day or so, and really most of the time here and there because my family had to work. But my mom was right by my side. When I got out the hospital, I was still dealing with extreme highs. I think my blood sugar was in the 5s, almost 600 when I ended up in ICU. So I could not eat or drink. They had me fasting, trying to get it down. I explained to the doctor about the breathing and all these different things. He was just like, girl, your body was just shutting down. Like, you was just dying. Like, I'm like, okay. So, yeah, so he was explaining all that. And so when I got out the hospital, they gave me a mix, an insulin mix. I think it was Humalog something. Y'all, that was not, sorry, that's my baby, y'all. But that was not working. So, say hey, Caleb.
Hey.
Okay, so that was not working. So
I don't have school.
Okay, he don't have no school, right? So they're out for Christmas holiday break. All right, baby, let me finish my story. But so yeah, they gave me some type of insulin mix that was not working. It kept my blood sugar still super high. I was ending up in the ER, steadily checking on that. They couldn't do nothing about that. We just wanted to avoid me going DKA again. So I went to my primary. They was like, who in the heck gave you this? Like, I just went through so many times where I would go to another doctor and they be like, who the heck told you that? And they be like, that you was about to die doing what they told you to do. I know, right? That's scary. That's crazy. Being misdiagnosed. So you are being either prescribed the things that don't work or something that, you need a stronger whatever. It's just like, so I ended up getting on Semaglee for long-acting insulin pen. That's for the morning and the night. And then during the day, for if you have 3 meals a day or what heavy snacks, I had to do the oh my gosh, what is it called? Flex pen. So yes, Aspart Flex Pen, I was doing that, and that was 3 times a day. So mind you, y'all, 5 insulin shots a day. draining until I got my insulin pump in September. I think September 16th or something like that. Finally got my insulin pump. I was using the Dexcom G7 at first, but I'm now on the Dexcom G. I had to switch to the G6 until they made the G7 compatible, or the pumps compatible. I have a tubeless insulin pump, Omnipod 5. There are other insulin pumps out there that are tubed and things like that, but I thoroughly enjoy this one. I'm going to show you guys if I can. Yeah, it's a little bit of bruising on my arm. This is like just a sticker that just keeps it on there. And then it is some stickers that goes to the insulin pump, y'all. But I don't have them on right now. But anyway, yeah. So every day that keeps me alive and pumping, and I'm so grateful for it. I recommend, if you are dealing with any type of insulin resistance, any type of issues with your health, please go to the doctor and advocate for yourself. Continue to do that, you guys, until you get the help that you need. If you have to travel to go to a different specialist, a different doctor, I pray that you have the support around you to do so. And if you don't, look it up. TikTok it, YouTube it. Go to your local, like, go to places to see where they offer like free healthcare visits, free doctor visits. I know it was a clinic that would come to town for us, and the nurses and doctors would give free screenings and stuff like that for people around here. You need to do that. Stay on top of your health, y'all, because at 26 years old, I never thought I was going to be diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So, yes, type 1. So, my pancreas no longer produces insulin. So, that's on me. If I take it off, I'm dealing with high blood sugar and everything be a mess, y'all. So, yeah. But anyway, I have a good support system of my mom. She is on it. She's on it. More than I want her to be some days, but I appreciate her so much for being on it with me. But y'all, that is the story. This story time was so long, so I gotta go. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, but any questions especially about my diagnosis or anything like that, please comment below and I'll try my best to answer. But at the end of the day, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing you my experience and stuff like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in another video.